Well, this mistake has come back to bite them, and unfortunately, it could affect all of us or our public safety anyway. And to be honest, I'm surprised it has taken this long. But just what am I going on about? Well, apparently, a bloke who was let out early by Labour to make some room in a prison has now been charged with murder. Which, correct me if I'm wrong, but if he was still in prison, then I doubt he could have even committed that at all. And therefore, now, surely this whole early release scheme needs to end because people's lives seem to be at stake here, don't they? But he was part of this SDS 40 scheme which Labour brought in. And it kicked off back, remember, in September 2024, where prisoners celebrated, no doubt, letting them out after just 40% of their sentences instead of the usual halfway mark. And earlier this year, another bloke released under the same scheme was found guilty of manslaughter after he killed someone on the day he got out, which obviously he should have still been inside himself, shouldn't he? Labour really do need to bring in some sort of measures to make sure this stops as soon as possible. Liam Matthews, who was 36, was apparently in a knife fight that left Lewis Ball, 26, dead just after leaving HMP Home House. And this week, apparently, it came out that overweight for this 3,000, that's right, 3,200 prisoners are being released under this scheme. And so far, 38,042 have benefited, according to the Ministry of Justice data, which, if anything, is a slap in the face, surely, to any victims of their crimes. HMP Humber and Ball near Hull has let out the most inmates, though, 1,126, followed by Brine, I hope it's pronounced that right, in Wrexham with 1,064, Fossway or Fossey Way in Leicester 1,037, and Park B in Bridgend with a mere 830. Either way, about 10% of those released early are apparently foreign criminals, and that number's been creeping up a bit each year, from 12% last September to 12.3% in September this year. The thing is, if they're foreign criminals, why haven't we deported them back? Speaking of which, that illegal migrant from Epping, I think it was, who they let out early instead of deporting, well, why did they pay him 500 quid to leave? I'm betting anything you like, it's because of the ECHR, in case he went to them and said, "Oh, I can't leave," and made a bit of a fuss. We should not be paying people to deport them. They've done wrong, so deport them. It's just common sense, isn't it? And something that, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure was common practice years ago. Deporting them if they'd done a crime, not paying them first. That, if anything, is a massive kick in the balls to their victims. But anyway, apparently after us British people, Albanians are the next biggest group, then Polish, Irish, Romanian and Indian. And Shadow Justice Secretary Robert Jenrick isn't happy about it. And yes, I don't blame him, saying that Labour has let out 38,000 prisoners early, many of whom are hardened offenders who can't be rehabilitated. And he said it's putting the British public at risk every day and suggests deporting foreign criminals and keeping courts open round the clock to cut down on remand numbers. And the thing is, on average, between 3,200 and 3,650 offenders are being let out early each month. Nearly 1,000 a week. It's just absolutely disgraceful, isn't it? The Ministry of Justice spokesperson says that the government inherited a prison crisis. So here we go, blaming the Tories again, and took action to stop jails from collapsing. Well, taking action doesn't mean bloody release everyone, does it? It surely means do alternative things to make sure there are space for more prisoners, like perhaps the Bippy Stockholm. Wouldn't that have been a better idea, in my opinion? But they claim public protection is their top priority. Well, it doesn't appear so, does it? With offenders on licence facing strict conditions like exclusion zones and tagging. I'm guessing that didn't work out too well for those two people that got killed or murdered, eh? And don't worry, because apparently could be hauled back to prison if they break the rules. They're also building 14,000 new prison places, with 2,500 open since July, and reforming sentencing to avoid running out of space again, which does actually sound quite worrying. Doesn't mean, if anything, they're going to be more lenient by this reforming of sentences. Despite all this, though, apparently prisoners are back at 98% capacity and have only dodged running out of space by using cells that are a fire risk. These cells will be declared unusable apparently by 2027, adding even more pressure, as reported by The Times. And the Ministry of Justice admitted that early release scheme is causing more recalls to prison, which jumped by by 13% in the first 3 months. So if anything, this is a massive backfire, isn't it? And is very starting to blow up in Labour's face. I mean, who could have possibly have guessed that, eh? I'm pretty sure all of us could have done. Either way, though, from April to June this year, over 11,000 prisoners were recalled for breaching their license, up from 9,782 in 2024. And just to top it all off, there was, of course, that accidental release of the Epping Hotel migrant, convicted sex offender who was spotted on wandering the streets after being unintentionally set free. It just makes me wonder what disaster we're all going to be faced with next, eh?